Hi, and thank you for joining me for this session within the investment track called Evolve Your Tech, Shape Your Future. Before we begin, some housekeeping rules, especially the Q&A feature. I want to point out that we want to get your questions, we want to answer whatever concerns or questions or insights you might have, and ensure you walk away from this session and the conference fully informed with what MRI is doing from a solutions perspective and how you can benefit from those solutions within your business. I also want to thank our sponsors. Without their support, we would not be able to produce this conference. And you as users and clients of ours would not be able to enjoy the benefits and the value of bringing our partner solutions and services together with our MRI solutions to deliver the most value to your business. So my name is Eric Kogan. I'm the Vice President of our Finance and Investment Solutions Group here at MRI. I've been with the company for 10 years, been involved in the real estate software industry for over 15 years, and I have specific interest and expertise in property level accounting, asset management, debt management, investment planning, investor relations, and really all the functionality that an investor in real estate would need to navigate today's market and to be financially successful. Today's agenda for this session is to have a little recap of the need for smart, nimble experiences within the real estate investment space, and then talk about specific features through our accounting platform, to the data problem that we're trying to solve, to visualization and reporting, and how you can take all of these features, both current and those coming in the near future, to shape the future of your business. So let's talk about smart, nimble experiences. I've covered it in other sessions. We've covered it in the keynotes. And whilst I don't want to belabor the point, I think it's important to see how it's consistently driving and shaping our vision. Today, when we think about the real estate investment lifecycle, it really is something that touches so many different departments and teams within any given business. Accounting, treasury, property management, acquisitions, investor relations, portfolio management. All these departments are both delivering inputs into the processes that make up that life cycle and also consuming the outputs. Now, let's call it the old days, it would be pretty common that these groups are all using different systems, that those systems don't necessarily interact or talk to each other, and the processes that those different departments are going through on a day-to-day basis don't necessarily involve a lot of overlap and workflow with these other departments. But today, as we're dealing with so many different data points and much more complexity and sophistication, and we have technology that we can leverage, one of the first things that we're trying to tackle is the integration of these disparate teams and processes into a single, efficient, automated workflow. And so smart, nimble experiences really speak to that endeavor. And today, we're going to break that down into those things that help us ensure we have complete and accurate data across these different departments. We have efficient integrated workflows, whether it's approval workflows, or just task tracking across these departments, and that everything that delivers these capabilities has an intuitive visual interface that's modern, that's easy to understand and navigate, and appeals to a younger audience, which, as we know, is something that we're dealing with today as employees, employers, and real estate companies, where a lot of the people using these solutions were born in the 21st century and don't necessarily know a world where there wasn't smartphones, the internet, and a significant focus on user experience design, not only in software, but even the physical products that we interact with. So let's start with finance and accounting. The data journey starts here. It starts at the general ledger accounting level and often ends here as well. And so we need to ensure that from a finance and accounting perspective, we're delivering capabilities to deliver more efficiency and more automation. One of the things that we are proud to be releasing very soon is our Smart Bank Reconciliation. It's an enhancement to our bank reconciliation tool that will allow the direct import of banks' files, flat file statements, and then automatically map and reconcile transactions from that file to the transactions in our accounting platform. So no longer will there be the need to hold a physical bank statement in your hand in order to run through the transactions and reconcile manually. This will also include the rollout of our new application Studio page look and feel. You'll still get the conditional formatting, to identify reconciled transactions, and the system will suggest which of these transactions should or shouldn't be applied. InterEntity is also, or intercompany, is an area of functionality that we've also focused on greatly in the past year and will continue to do so in the coming year. So rolling out InterEntity across our accounting platform, so enabling InterEntity support in accounts payable, in corporate accounts receivable, ensuring that there's easier data entry of InterEntity in things like our journal entry pages. These things are going to be rolled out very soon across the next few months. And we're also launching now our new InterEntity balancing matrix, which again is adopting our new application Studio look and feel. And this InterEntity balancing matrix will provide an easy way to identify which InterEntity relationships are balanced and which are not. It will highlight the ones that are out of balance. It will allow you to filter the matrix down to just those relationships that require your attention, and it will hyperlink or drill through to the underlying details so you can see where that out of balance culprit might be. This and the data entry for prior period, prior year journals, the rollout of InterEntity in things like corporate AR is all part of our 2021 plan, and we're really excited to improve this aspect of the system for those managing a lot of intercompany transactions. Recurring entry enhancements, right? Another area where we felt we needed to deliver more capabilities to ensure that data entry is easier and quicker. So the ability to post recurring journal entries before closing the journal ledger is something that a lot of our clients have asked for. Entries flagged as posted to prevent duplicate entries when general ledger is closed is also a validation logic that we felt was important. And for those clients using our soft close capabilities, you no longer need to wait for management to finish reviewing the financials and then close the books before you can create recurring entries for the current and future periods. Our vendor inquiry or supplier inquiry is being enhanced to ensure you can see more meaningful information on the page and be able to search more effectively. So being able to search by entity name, seeing the entity name in the invoice detail, being able to filter an invoice as either a positive or negative amount so you can see credits. And this is all available as well on the invoice search. So your users can actually access these details from whichever view makes the most sense as part of their operational process. Segmentation. Segmentation is an area of incredible focus for us as we continue to tackle more and more use cases where more granular segmented reporting and analysis and budgeting is needed in the system. Segments exist today within our general ledger accounting. You can report by segments, but we want to ensure that segments can be filtered by other segments, so essentially a parent-child sort of relationship between segments. We want to ensure that segmented reporting is even easier than it is today. And we want to roll out segments across the system, including areas where it doesn't currently exist, like prior period, prior year journals, and of course, budgeting. Being able to budget at the segment level. We've also released a new budget versus actual view. Again, leveraging Application Studio for a new look and feel. This is a single view for all departments. It gives you your variance and percentage variance view. Actuals up to a nominated period are displayed, and then a budget for the remainder, so you can see a year-end forecast. It includes approved purchase orders. Anything that's over budget is highlighted conditionally in red, and this can be used really for any aspect of your budget. So we're really excited to deliver a new enhanced budget versus actual view that is real time, it's embedded in the pages, it's something that delivers more visibility, doesn't rely on reporting, and that's what Application Studio is making possible for our accounting users. Now let's talk about data. So accounting is just one piece of the data problem. We certainly want to make sure that accounting entries and journals and invoices and accruals and all the things that we need to see on reports and in financial statements are available. But there's so much other data that we need to consider as real estate investors. So we need tools to ensure that getting all that data and pulling it together and making it consumable is something that doesn't require a lot of manual effort. So our new web import-export is a perfect example of this. This is coming very soon this year, and will provide a smarter import-export capability, which means that not only are you importing data into the system, like journals, for example, you're also validating those imports with the same business logic and rules as if you were entering that directly into the UI. So it will adhere to security and permissions. It will validate any errors or problems with that data if you're missing prerequisite components to that data or the formatting is wrong. And the error handling will deliver messages that are meaningful. They're not technical. They're messages that end users of any technical level of expertise can understand and action. There is also a batch data loader in our Investment Central solution that, unlike the import-export that is driven by a specific file that's being imported into the system, this is where you can literally copy and paste data into a grid and commit it directly into the database. And this includes both financial and non-financial data, which is incredibly important for our asset management users. Asset managers are relying on so many data points that are potentially coming from multiple systems and sources. So we need to make sure that getting that data in is an easy process. We've also launched this past year a data API for our modeling solution. So investment modeling clients can now extract from our data modeling solution any data point, both current and forecasted, into data warehouses, into business intelligence platforms, or whatever other system it requires that data. Excuse me while I take a drink. Excuse me. We also talked a little bit earlier about our data management service. This is a service that really trumps all these other capabilities. It is a white glove service that leverages robotic process automation to both collect the data that you need in your systems, aggregate it and normalize it into a standard data format that's consumable by your users, and then publish that data to your disparate systems. So it can be fed into reports, into dashboards, and into your respective workflows. This solution is so incredible that it is somewhat unprecedented in the market. The fact that data can be consumed in any format, PDF, Excel, Word document, XML, it really makes no difference, because once the initial mapping of that data format from that specific source is addressed at the beginning of the deployment of this, moving forward, it's all automated by our RPA engine. And really, humans only need to get involved where there's an exception. Let's say a particular account is missing, or there is a new account that we didn't know about, then that needs to be dealt with. But because it's a service, we take that burden from you and actually interact directly with the source of that data to resolve that exception. It is an entirely hands-off experience, and certainly for any company that's having to deal with a lot of third-party data, it is an extremely economical service relative to having internal data specialists dealing with that problem for you. Web valuations is another extremely exciting enhancement that we will be releasing this year. Web valuations is a web-based version of our valuation solution. So not only is it going to deliver that new application studio look and feel to the valuation experience, it's also going to be much more integrated into our accounting solutions and our other investment solutions, to the point where you can automate the posting of your unrealized gains and losses. You can automate your performance returns through that valuation process, and many other examples as well. So again, it's an example of a particular piece of data or set of data that becomes accessible and consumable by multiple departments through the latest technology that we're releasing. So that brings us to visualization and reporting. Data is something that often consumes a lot of our brain power and our effort. And so we're focusing on technology to minimize that, so that you, the users, the clients, the investors, the stakeholders, can spend more time looking at your portfolio, your assets, your tenants, and making strategic decisions by planning and forecasting and budgeting in order to improve the value and profitability of your business. So visualization and reporting is an extremely important part of that. We need to not just make the data available to you, we need to deliver it in such a way that it is insightful. It delivers intelligence, and it identifies outliers and exceptions and problem areas to you quickly. Our configurable overviews are currently available today in our Investment Central solution. These are attractive charts, maps, and other visualizations that can be configured with minimal technical expertise. And when you pair this with our asset management capabilities within that solution, such as deal tracking, investor CRM, personal tasks and workflows, it becomes the ultimate asset management solution. Analytics is our business intelligence solution that takes all of this dashboarding to a higher level, an executive level view of your entire business through charts, maps, and graphs similar to Investment Central, but at a higher level so that executive level strategic decisions can be made based on an aggregation of all the data that feeds up from the various groups. So it's not just operational dashboards like the ones we have for asset managers. It is really an exploratory solution for executives. And speaking of operational dashboards, the financials dashboard, we talked about accounting before. This is a dashboard that delivers an intuitive visual dashboard for our finance data. So we can look at specific metrics like NOI and how they're trending. We can filter by portfolio or project, and we can get quick access to favorite reports that help us drill into some of the more granular detail that underpins that dashboard. We also have new debt management metrics. The KPIs that you see within debt management's landing page, like weighted average term to maturity, weighted average interest rates, how much debt is outstanding, how much interest has been accrued, all of these things are now available to you on the fly as you're on that page, and will dynamically adjust as you filter the loans on that page. So this quick dynamic look at some KPIs by simply filtering a list of loans is a good example of how we're making data more accessible. Investor reporting is also an extremely important focus for us. We spent a lot of time ensuring that investment accounting was delivering reports that are meaningful, that are insightful, that provide the details you need to effectively track not just consolidated financial statements, but information at the capital subledger level. So we've done a lot of that work. Now we need to make sure that it is made available efficiently to the investors, the people who are actually contributing the money and looking for returns and dividends as a result. So today, we've leveraged Report Gateway to feed investment accounting reports directly to our Investor Connect portal so that investors can get access to that data. In addition to the data that's flowing into Investor Connect via APIs from all the way down to the lease level. Coming soon will be enhancements to this process. We want to ensure that the reports are collated or iterated by investor so that you don't have to create separate files for each investor manually. And we want to also deliver a little bit more workflow enhancement to this process. So keep an eye out for some of those enhancements as well. The next thing I'm very excited to talk to you about is our performance returns module, a brand new module that we are looking to release soon that will deliver industry standard as well as custom returns and IRRs and equity multiples and other key metrics for property, investment, and investor level reports or performance. This solution will allow for the import of market data, benchmarks, as well as data from disparate sources that contribute to the calculation of your returns. But also, it automatically brings in data from investment accounting. So if all of your consolidations, your investor subledger transactions are in investment accounting, then generating returns is just a click of a button. This will also export to Excel all of the returns for a given, of a given type and a given time frame and for over a selection of entities. And the formulas that drive the calculation of those returns will be embedded in those Excels so that you can take it out of the system and manipulate it as needed. So we're really excited about this, and we expect it to deliver a lot of value to our investment clients. So those are just a few examples of the features and functions that are available today, as well as those that are coming in the very near future, that help us ensure that you, our clients, have the solutions, the technology, the capabilities to solve the data problem, to ensure that you can visualize and action that data. It's insightful. And based on that, be able to make strategic decisions that ensure continued performance, maximum value, and profitability in the future, especially as we consider the fluctuations that occur in the market. This is what we like to think of as us as a software vendor enabling you to shape your future. We give you the tools so that we've dealt with the science in the art versus science aspect of real estate investment so that you can focus all your time and energy and expertise on the art, the secret sauce, making your strategic decisions, deciding, do we want to pivot and invest in different types of assets because of the way the market is trending? Do we want to buy, sell, or develop? Do we want to ensure that our portfolio is extremely robust relative to changes in interest rates or other market fluctuations? How do we want to finance things? What type of debt should we be targeting? How do we want to track our risk ratings, and what are our targets? These are the types of things that we want our users and clients to focus on so that they don't need to deal with the cleaning of data, the creation of reports, and managing workflows that are disconnected across departments and across clients. That is how we help you shape your future.